You want a war? You're going to get one.
What was that? He had enough time for one more play.
He had an opportunity to win that game at the end.
But the referee screwed us. The brother screwed us.
I'm upset, but
the brother screwed us.
At least they fought back and tried.
Only Cowboys game.
You
The
literally.
brother screwed us. The brother screwed us. We had one man opportunity for one more play.
Dallas still stinks. Yo, by the way, King Dick by here. Welcome to the season finale of Hard Knocks. But besides that, we've got a ton going on with the Birds today. The big news everybody was waiting for dropped. Kevin Patullo is fired. Now you'll say, well, he wasn't fired, maybe demoted. To me, he's fired. They just choose not to get rid of him, but it's going to be interesting. We're going to talk a lot about it. Let me move this thing. It seems a little off. We're going to talk a lot about it, but before we do that, let me say, hey, what's going on, everybody? My thing is all crooked, by the way. A-Warrior Rage, what's going on? Logan Motorsports, what's happening? Jersey Dolphins, Brian. Rocco, what's up? Fly Eagles. Elephant in the Room. Eagles 1278. Maverick. Mean Metal Mike, Global Noble. What is going on, everybody? Thank you guys so much for being here. Daniel, Philly Nation 3708, Bleeding Kelly Green, Carlos. Anybody I missed, I apologize. But, man. So, it's really interesting because the Eagles, they release Patullo from being the offensive coordinator, but they're not going to get rid of him. This is what it sounded like. I don't know. Unless something happened in the last half hour while I was coming home from work. I have no idea what is really going on. He cannot say you're a passing game coordinator. It just can't happen. Obviously, him and Jalen don't have a great relationship. We've tried. Not happy that they kept Patullo on the staff. This is going to be really awkward in the locker room. What I feel like must be going on, and I'm just guessing. The Eagles told Nick, you're out of controlling the offense. And Nick was like, all right, but I want to keep my boy on the staff. That's the only thing I can think of. You know, otherwise, like, I've never heard of it. You keep the guy, you know? It's your birthday today. Go Birds, great news for... Yeah, happy birthday to Aaron. Shout out to you. Comrade, what's going on? Ezekiel, what's going on? Nathan, what's up, my man? West Philly Rock, what's up? What Jiggy? New Jersey, what's happening? Oh, Rock the Artist, right? See, I hate that they changed those names. Dennis, what's going on, my man? How are you? Let me get this prepared here. They should be releasing the next episode and finale. I hope in this finale, I hope they talk a lot about this. You know what I mean? Like, I hope we get to see the discussions and we get some sort of insight that we didn't get. You know what I mean? What's Jiggy? What's going on? He shouldn't be allowed in Philly, period. New Jersey says, Nick is a catalyst. Look how successful the offense was when Shane Steichen and Kellen Moore had the keys versus when Nick had them, like night and day. Yeah, you know, it's true. It's true. In the last 5 years under Nick, the biggest problem has always been about Nick controlling the offense, you know? Yeah, he was demoted. Why would they keep him? Like, why would Nick want him on there so bad? Like, why? The only thing I can think of is Nick wants him around. He wants somebody he feels got his back because he's going to lose control completely of that offense. You know? Yeah, jobs for bad. This was the mistake of the offseason. was Nick gave his friend the offensive coordinator position when clearly he wasn't ready for it. And it cost us this year. It cost us in the playoffs, I believe. Goodbye, KP, right? Kevin's still on the staff. That's interesting. It's really interesting. See, if you guys remember when we talked, I said I think even if the Eagles win the Super Bowl, I was like, I think they're going to still move on from Patullo. They'll just give him a new whatchamacallit. But no, they did it anyways. Right? Let me cue this up here. All right, I'm queuing this up, and all right, so I'm going to the main entrance here. I know. I didn't get home till a little bit late. I will be doing a live stream in the morning as well, Wednesday regular morning. So we will talk a lot more about this. You rather have EB, Philly 500. I knew the NFL. I'm new to the NFL. When is the soonest we can know who our offensive coordinator is? As soon as the Eagles hire him. As soon as they hire him, which probably within the next few weeks, Seems like Sirianni lacks backbone to make tough decisions. Interesting. See, I try to figure out, like, the only thing I can think of is Nick got stripped of having any say in the offense, and his consolation prize was to keep Patullo on staff. And if I'm Kevin Patullo, man, I don't think I want to stay. Do you want to stay there if you're him and like have everybody looking at you like the offensive coordinator that failed, or do you go somewhere else? Daiquiri celebrated my brother celebrated his 77th birthday yesterday. He had 2 Super Bowl wins, and he's still crying we didn't win this year. Well, happy birthday to your brother, 77 years old. He saw championships though, right? The ball would be a good fit for offensive coordinator. Jalen Hurts connection at Alabama. He worked with Nick, the Chiefs. I believe Todd Monken would be better fit. A lot of talk about Monken. I don't know what I make of him. Like they didn't do anything in the playoffs, but people will blame Lamar for that. But I have to go watch Monken more closely. I think the favorite to land it is going to be Frank Reich. But I did see an interesting name pop up, and that was Clay Kubiak of the Niners. I think that would be a very interesting name. Philly, is it official? KP is still on the staff. As of right now, he's still on the team. He's still with the staff. Yeah. We don't know. From what it sounds like, it's if he wants to stay, he can stay, but he may not want to. Richard Purdy says, hello, 500. I hope we're all over the hangover, but there's another season to come, and I hope we can get back to the Super Bowl. Want a good offensive coordinator. Yeah, me too. I'll say this. I think the single biggest thing for the Eagles this offseason is to get this hire for offensive coordinator right. They got to get it right. If they get it right, it will set up the rest of the offseason. You wish we had Kellen Moore back? Please, no Frank Reich. Name of recycled scheme. See, I kind of agree with you. I do. And I like Frank Reich, and there are certain things I think he would be really good with Jalen Hurts with. But I kind of agree with you in a way. But I think that's where it's going. I do. I think that they're going to hire Reich as the coordinator. They're going to say Patullo stayed, and the only reason Nick would ever do this was because they could get Frank Reich. And he's going to praise the selflessness, mark my words, he's going to praise the selflessness of Patullo, who gave away his position. Just my thought. Mike McDaniel would be my number one option. Clay Kubiak does interest me, though. And I'm not, the other guys, some of those names I'm not opposed to. I don't know about the ball, though. I don't know if I want the ball. Cliff Kingsbury would be great. He would be great. You don't take your watches at last episode. I gotta have to torture myself. Dennis says Nick needs a snitch boy on the sideline. But Patullo still don't know what Big Dom is wearing a headset. I still don't know why Big Dom is wearing a headset on the sideline. Yeah, that's interesting. Why is he wearing it? I don't know either, but yeah, I think there's gotta be a lot of politics going on behind the scenes. And we got 338 people. Thank you guys so much for being here tonight. Do you think once we get our offensive coordinator, people will also believe Hurts is elite like we do? I think if they get the right offensive coordinator and he starts letting Hurts do more, and I believe, he uses his players and puts them in the best position, I believe that's what we're going to see from Hurts. I do. I really, truly do. Now, if we don't, then we can say, okay, people were right about him. But I think it's very hard to judge Jalen Hurts when you have a coordinator like this. And frankly, when you've been dealing with this off and on for 5 years under Nick, So I think so too. Let me read this. Nathan said, "It's put on him to retire on his own. More smoke and mirrors. Nick is so fake." Tortiville, thank you for super chat. I wouldn't be okay with Patullo even being the supervisor over the parking attendants because I think he would have cars parked. That's pretty good. Yeah, I agree with you, man. I agree with you. New Jersey says, Philadelphia Eagles been a fan since the late, great Buddy Ryan era. So, since 12 years old, I'm 50. Let's get right. Hey, man, me and you were the same age, man. I'm 52. I'm not 52. I'm 50 also. And, yeah, the Buddy Ryan days, man, that's what we came up. That's where we made our bones, John DeFilippo that's an interesting. He was a hot name a few years ago. No doubt about it. Let me read this. Dalton, thank you so much for the super chat, my man. I appreciate you. Don't trust Nick to keep his hands out of the offense. Dude's entire job is to play cheerleader, and we had one of the most penalized teams in the league, which we get rid of him too. Well, I wouldn't be opposed to it, because I agree. I think most people feel that way, but I don't think they're going to. And I think this move, obviously, it sounds like this is something that Nick is doing that the Eagles want to do, and I think giving up control. And let me just say this off the bat. I'm assuming, and I'm making this is my own opinions, nobody else's. I don't know everything. I'm wrong sometimes, but in my opinion, I think Nick is being stripped of total control and offense, and his consolation prize is to keep Patullo. Now, I do think they're going to bring in Frank Reich, but we'll see. And thank you for super chat. Do you want to develop our quarterback? Reich is your guy. Do you want a more complex offense? McDaniels is your guy. Well, I want a little bit of both. I think you're right though with Frank. Frank is very good at the little things that make a guy better, and I think he'll bring that out of Hurts. But I also want to see a guy that looks and says, I got Devontae Smith and Saquon Barkley and hopefully A.J. Brown. I know how to use them. I know how to give them, get them going. You know what I mean? I did. Oh, my bad, Maurice. Let me go back to it. I apologize. Maurice, David, super chat. To be fair, Frank is the best decision because he's no longer looking for a head coaching job. That means it's time to develop Jalen Hurts. Well, that's the best thing about him, right? If he gets hired, then he's not going to be a whatchamacallit anytime soon. I agree. And thank you, and I'm sorry I missed that super chat. Dog, thank you for the super chat. Philly, Seth Joyner threw out the ball as his top pick for offensive coordinator. Thoughts? It's interesting, not saying I love it, but there's a Jalen connection. Yeah, a lot of people like the ball. I don't know. I look at him and I go, man, you had Daniel Jones did nothing, and then Steichen gets him, and he's great. So I don't know what I think of the ball. I mean, I wouldn't cry. He'll be better than what we had, but I do often wonder if the ball got more credit because he was with Josh Allen. Nails, thank you for the super chat, my man. And so we're gonna start the show in a few minutes, but before I do that, I want to get the sponsor ship and a word from them before we start the show. So without further ado, here we go. Are you sick of being robbed by the sports books? I am. Well, then Polymarket is for you. And what is it, you ask? Polymarket is the revolutionary prediction market everyone is absolutely obsessed with right now. Legal and live in all 50 states, instant trades, total control. You're trading against people and not the house. All right, so when we look at round 2 of the playoffs, the Birds not in it. There is one game that stands out to me that I really like on Polymarket, and that is Buffalo-Denver. And if you look, the Buffalo Bills got a 75% chance to win this game. I would love to go for the underdog, but I got to go Buffalo because I agree. So I'm going to put $200 on the Bills. I think they win this game. It's incredible. Everyone's going crazy over it. And the most awesome part, downloading the app with the link below and using my code Philly500 unlocks exclusive early access. Early access plus $10 completely free. No deposit, no card, nothing. Don't miss out and join the revolution. All right, shout out to Polymarket for sponsoring this video. Yeah, it's going to be interesting, you know. I would have loved to go live earlier today during that news break-in, but I just couldn't get home in time or stay home long enough. Yeah, I'm good with the ball. What the hell? Hold on. All right, let me see. Did it again. I'm good with the ball. Low key still has love for the Giants. Trying to recruit Harbaugh to the Giants, like, bro, they fired you. Is he really trying to do that? Interesting. Would you guys be happy if the Eagles were to fire Nick Sirianni and get Harbaugh, or would you want a guy like Tomlin? What would you do if they fired Nick? What would you want? Because you do got some big name coaches out there right now. Good thing Tank is under contract. Still, KP is letting rot away. Get offensive coordinator could utilize him. I agree. Nick will be gone after next year. The team needs to move away from anything connected with Nick and this shitty scheme. Frank will just run a hybrid Nick offense. Well, see, that's what I'm scared of. Like, you know, remember with Kellen Moore? It was like Nick kept saying, "This is my offense with elements of Moore. We're gonna mix it up and blend it." But it was really Nick's philosophy. I think that needs to change completely. I want somebody, man. I want somebody innovative, man, that can get this offense going, but at the same time, develop Hurts. $200 to win 270. Well, yeah, you know, because the Bills are actually favored 77%. Can you imagine? I mean, those don't use like sportsbook odds. They use on how people are betting. And 77% people think the Bills are going to win. That's crazy. Ooh, you think we're getting Stefanski? This is my gut feeling. He's from, yeah, he is. I don't know a lot about him. I know he's a very good offensive mind. Wow, you think Stefanski? Bottom line, we need stability for years, not just amongst a couple seasons here and there. Yeah, I agree. Why is it, though, that all these teams can find these young, innovative offensive coordinators that can go there for 3, 4, 5 years and then get a coaching job? But we get one guy and then he's gone. He's gone immediately. You know, we need to start getting some coaches, like young coaches in here that can stay with the organization for a while. You know, I'm worried we're going to lose Clint Hurt, Bobby King. I'm worried about Christian Park. Like, I'm worried our defense is going to take some hits in the coaching staff, and I really don't want that, you know. Nail Scars, thank you for the super chat. What about Eric Bieniemy? If Howie throws a big bag his way, he could potentially get him from Chicago, and he's a coordinator that Hurts admires and is called in the offseason. I wanted him actually a few years ago. I think when Steichen left, I actually wanted him as offensive coordinator. His name has cooled off a lot. I don't know why, but he's somebody I would be interested in. And thank you for that super chat. They are hiring people with no experience. I play Madden. Give me a headset. I got you all, right? I guarantee you, McDaniel would use Tank more. He would. I also think that you would see Devontae Smith's stats skyrocket under McDaniel. And here's my other thing. I'm not for trading AJ Brown. I don't want to trade him. And I know a lot of people don't agree with that, but I don't want to trade him. I want to keep him. So I want to get an offensive coordinator that's going to make AJ excited to play in this offense. That's really how I feel, You want Harbaugh as a head coach? Tomlin? It surprised me. A lot of people were kind of like in my stream last night, like kind of hard, like kind of bashing Tomlin. I'm like, man, I like Tomlin. You want a coach called plays? Philly D says Tomlin, absolutely not. Belichick. I think Belichick is, he's got his own thing going on. I don't think he would be there the way we need. Harbaugh sounds nice, but I think firing Nick is a bad look culturally. Why? Do you say that because we fired Doug so quick last time? Because I think that's part of it. I think that they don't want to have a player, and so I kind of agree with you, Seth. Like, they don't want to have a coach come in, have all these wins, and then you fire him immediately for something. I don't think people like that. I mean, the Eagles kind of took a lot of flack for firing Doug. Stefanski would be fired after one season. Eric Bieniemy would bring real results if they fire Nick, bring in Tomlin best. I would love Tomlin as a head coach, but I don't think they'll get rid of Nick. Bieniemy I'm not opposed to. The Kubiak interests me. Monken interests me. I still think it's going to be Frank Reich, though. We just have to accept that we're going to waste Oh man, we're only 2 days into it, and we're already flushing it down the toilet. We're gonna have to accept that we're wasting another year. Get comfortable with that. We're shooting for 2027 at best now. It'll be a completely different team. Interesting. Let me see if I can catch up here. We got 413 people. Thank you guys so much for the final. This is the final, because the Eagles lost. This will be the final episode of Hard Knocks. And then next week we go back to the regular schedule, which is morning live streams Tuesday, Wednesday, and Friday. Billy, can you tell me your story about football? Oh, I don't know who you're talking about. Who do I want as offense? If I had to choose, my number one choice would be, as of right now, maybe there are other names that come up. My choice would be McDaniel. I would like McDaniel. I think he would do a great job with Hurts and the talent we have. I think Clay Kubiak is an interesting name, but he's one of those guys that, if you look at McDaniel, Kingsbury, who else? Maybe even EB, I don't know. If you look at all those guys, they're all like probably coach 1 year and get a head coaching job. That's why I think the Eagles are going to want Frank Reich, because I think they're going to want stability. I like him, no doubt about it. Cameron, what's going on, my man? He goes 500. Where do you rank Frank Reich among offensive coordinators, and would you have concerns about him? How comfortable would you be with him higher? Well, I would be comfortable with him because we've seen what he can do. So I think he's a good coach. I think he's a good offensive coordinator. I think he would dramatically help. The only thing I worry about is the relationship with him and Nick are super tight, and I don't want Nick having his hands in anything offensively. So with right there, that may happen, I miss a membership. Uh-oh. Let me see if I can find it. It doesn't show up all the time on these things. Let's see. Whoever channel membership thing I missed, I apologize. It did not show up in my eCam. Sometimes they show up, sometimes they don't. I don't know why. Cali Eagles, thank you for the super chat. Get an elite head coach to scheme the offense. Let the offensive coordinator be the cheerleader. We got it backwards. Yeah, I mean, I get it, but not all coaches are call plays. But the great thing about, like, when we had Andy Reid pretty much called everything. So it was like, even if you lost a coordinator, you didn't really lose much. So I know what you're saying. If O'Connell gets canned, I would want him as offensive coordinator because he would be here for at least 2 years. Yeah. Eric Bieniemy better than McDaniels? I have no... like I said, Eric Bieniemy was my choice a few years ago when Steichen left. So I have no problem with that. Q-Tip, thank you for super chat. What up, 500? Patullo being so bad made Brian Johnson look like a genius. Yeah, I mean, you got to figure, Brian Johnson, he was 50 times 1,000 better than what's his face, you know what I mean? It's true. 500, I don't know if you're feeling this as I am, but are you relieved that we lost and the season is over? I never felt actually happy about any wins this season. I'm not. I really wanted to feel what it was like to win back-to-back Super Bowls. I really wanted to play more. I just felt like, I honestly feel like the Eagles have the best roster in the National Football League, and we blew it. I think we were outcoached, Last time we saw EB, they ran the Eagles over. The run game is our strength. 2 Super Bowl, the Eagles won run game with strength. EB, hey, Malik, you're winning me over on it, man. I like it. I like it. So if you guys want to follow along with me, during the final show, I'm gonna hit play in about a minute. So right now I got it paused where it says HBO Sports Documentaries, and we'll get ready. Richie says 500. The demotion firing of Patullo also likely fires all position coaches on offense except Stoutland. Well, I don't know. I mean, we'll have to see. I like the Eagles wide receiver coach. I don't know enough about the quarterback coach. He seemed to be all right. But yeah, if you bring an offensive coordinator that has total control of the offense, he can hire his coaches. The win versus the Rams was like when we beat the Bills in 2023. That was our Super Bowl this year. Yeah, it's crazy, right? It really is. KSF, David Super Chat. I don't think Nick will play call anymore or make internal hires. This is the second time this has happened when Nick is in play calling. The problem is that it's Nick's offense. And what Nick has been doing is he's been putting his offense out there and then saying, all right, Patullo, you call the offense. See, where I have problems with Patullo is I don't think he can make in-game adjustments at all. I think coaches run circles around him. Nick, he wants everybody to blend, some of the things in their offense with his overall philosophy. And we got to get away from that completely. Milt Williams looked great for the Pats. Reminds me of how much we already lost. We may need to add more depth defensive tackle. I really liked Ojomo. I thought Ojomo was great. So, I think we'll be all right. And look, Ty Robinson's got to develop. He's got to develop. Nick was a wide receiver coach at KC, and DeBall DeBall was what? What was DeBall? He was the offensive coordinator, right, in Buffalo. What's your grade on Hurts this season? Probably about C+ to a B. A B minus. I really don't have a lot of high grades, to be quite honest, with the offense. The only two guys I really give good grades to is I thought Devontae Smith had a great year, and I thought Goddard had a great year. I thought Greg Roman was retired. And the ball was offensive coordinator in Kansas City. I don't remember that, but that's interesting. Look, I'm a big Tomlin guy, so yes, I would love him as a head coach. But you would have the same situation with him as with Nick. He's not going to call plays, so he's not the type of coach that's going to call plays. He's going to manage everything. But I like the ball. I like Tomlin. Ben is the reason for success in Chicago. And you watch when we watch that game next week. You're going to watch McVay and him. Look, Chicago's offense, like some of the plays they run are amazing, are great. I mean, could you believe we ran that play, what we ran on 4th and 11? I mean, even the Niners had the balls to run a flea flicker where McCaffrey scored a go-ahead touchdown. We couldn't pull nothing out of our hat. So, we'll see. Anyways, but this is going to be an interesting show because what I hope is that, and what I'm hoping to see is that we're going to see the conversation Nick's having internally with the decision to fire Patullo. I hope that they cover that. If they don't cover that shit, then it's like the show wasted is a waste. That's how I feel because that's what I want to see. Well, Frank's offense is not up to date. That you're not wrong about. That you're not wrong about. They should have ran the Philly special. Maybe. All right, let's rock and roll. We're going to start the final episode of Hard Knocks. Here we go. I got no sound. Why do I have no sound? Hold on. I got to fix the sound. I got to pause it. Sometimes I got to disconnect and then reconnect. All right, here we go. All right, here we go. We're going to wind it. All right, here's the start. All right, they're showing Jordan Davis saying, we got to make this run. We're talking about the Eagles playing the 49ers. Whew. Bald Eagle, David Super Chat. He goes, if AJ goes, it shows Sirianni is here to stay. If AJ stays, Sirianni will be first to go. It's going to come down to whether how he believes in Sirianni more. Interesting, and thank you for the Super Chat, Bald Eagle. So you think that the big problem is the relationship between Brown and Sirianni. Interesting. I think if you get the right coordinator, it'll excite AJ. All right, so they're in Dallas. Talking about Dallas firing their coordinator. They won't cover the firing. The Eagles front office will. Yeah, I'm worried about that, Toryville. Philly better grease the polls. Patullo is fired. Right? So, they're talking to Dallas, talking about firing the defensive coordinator. Lane Johnson's not retiring. He's on $25 million next season. After the Eagles move on, it's 48. Wow. I don't think he wants to retire yet. I don't think he wants to go out this way. New Jersey, thank you for super chat. Brian DeBoer was the offensive coordinator in Kansas City under Romeo Crennel. I also keep the great content coming. Oh, thank you, New Jersey. I appreciate that. Appreciate the super chat. I didn't realize he was that in Kansas City. I don't remember that, but yeah, I mean he's a legit candidate, no doubt about it. No, they're talking. Jerry Jones is talking, and they're talking about firing Eberflus. I hope Jonathan Gannon. Oh, I know. Please hire Jonathan Gannon. Graham will retire again, Mike. You think? I hope Graham stays. I hope Graham comes back when we're here. So they're showing the Cowboys packing for Cancun. Pack it up. Pack it up. You're going to Cancun. Bills, Seahawks. Interesting. Start plucking the Rams offense. Not a bad idea. Nick Foles could be passing game coordinator about it. All right, so the reason I put the Cowboys logo in is when the Hard Knocks episode we're watching, when it transfers to each team, I try to put the logo up because when I didn't do it before, everybody kept asking me who's talking now, who's on the screen. So this just lets you know what team they're featuring at the moment. Just makes it easier for me. I just look at teams like the Texans, Pats, and feel like they are still getting better. If we're just holding on to what we got, doesn't mean end up getting even better, which should be the goal. Yeah, I don't totally disagree. So I do believe we're in good shape because we removed the parts problem. And that starts with moving forward. Let's go. Well, we did. To me, the key though is we've got to figure out who we got to get the right guy. So they're talking to the Giants. They're jumping around right now. So although firing KP is what the team needs, sadly Nick set him up for failure. They had exotic plays or adjustments throughout the year. Oh, I mean, I agree. That style of offense is a setup for failure because it allows for no mistakes. You have no mistakes. All right, now they're going to Philly. This whole episode should be Eagles, man. Philly Z celebrates 62 months of membership. Thank you so much, man. Yo, Philly, it's Alex Epstein. Love you. Oh, Alex, love you too, my man. Thank you. All right, so now let's talk about the Eagles' plan to keep the crown. Whereas BG wants to come back if he doesn't retire, good. He is just... Yeah. Be honest, season line staff, Clint Hurt, or maybe... Yeah, I agree with you. 1,000. So Nick is telling the team that we've got to play harder than the other team. Stop playing with that toy. So Barkley's talking about watching a movie called Whiplash. Really can't. Did you hear what Nick said? The key to winning is you got to play harder and meaner than the other team. Nick gets on my nerves. He gets on my nerves. I love how many times Nick says the word right. So now they're talking to Barkley about I don't know what he's talking about. Oh, something about whiplash. Is there a chat? What are the guidelines? What kind of chat is this? Don't you know you turn low? Let us talk. I don't know who you, I don't even know what the hell you're talking about. I don't even know who you are. Whiplash is a great movie. Never seen it. I want an offensive coordinator that knows how to call trick plays and has Jalen Hurts limited on him rolling to the right. That's our problem with Jalen. Can these players even relate to this? I don't know. So they're talking about, showing the Eagles practicing, and Barkley's talking about they got to have a complete game. Complete game. And Barkley's saying he believes that they can do it. Nigga's cool as he is. I hear a lot of good things about him, but what will he translate into the NFL? That's the question. I don't think the Eagles need like a guy like that. I think they need somebody established. So Barkley and Goddard are arguing whether Goddard's street smart or not. So they're just having fun, laughing, all that. I don't think he's not rolling right. I think it would be nice to design some rollouts. I agree with that. I don't want to go to the other extreme of having gimmicky offense where we don't ever play smash mouth. We need an offensive coordinator that could take multiple approaches. Agreed. I definitely need somebody, I think, established in this league. Hurts is talking about running posts. They're showing practice. AJ makes a great down low catch. Didn't make any of them. This is interesting. So Hurts is telling him he likes the one play they're running because it's aggressive. And Nick's like, that's what we're trying to do in that one play, be aggressive. I think Nick's an idiot. I'm glad I don't have to get up at 5 a.m. anytime soon. Being in the Philippines isn't good for the football season. Yeah, I know. That's got to be tough. I feel like we need to fix that 3-and-out shit because that was my issue with the offense. It's a bad issue. I also think starting field position is the same thing. They're talking. The crazy thing is the Eagles are all talking about, well, we got to improve. We got to get it going. It's like, dude, they're talking about the things you hear in preseason. They're talking about it in January. Easy, Philly Smith dropped the pass. Barkley dropped the pass. I know they all did. I'm not blaming one dude. They all did. I love AJ. I want him back. I want Harbaugh, man. I want Sirianni gone. I want Harbaugh, and I want Frank Wright, offensive coordinator. Frank has already been head coach, and it didn't work. Yeah? 500, did you see the breakdown of AJ by Avant on a few plays in the second half, which he had Little no effort on blocking. No, I haven't seen it. It's really interesting. Like, if you closed your eyes and watched this, you would think this was preseason. Like, this was the summer one in training camp. Because they talk the same way. Philly 500, the only right choice off the court is for the Eagles is Philly 500 since he complains too much. They should hire him for offensive coordinator. 90% Eagle fans approve. I'm down. So now they're showing the Nick press conference. So now they're showing Nick playing or football with his kids down the basement. Who complains more than my wife? McCool was lost due to friendly fire from Sidney Brown. True? Hello? If you was a head coach, 500, what would be your offensive scheme defense? I would run a 4-3-D, and it would be I would blitz 30% of the time. I would be very Buddy Ryan-ish, 46 type defense. I would be very aggressive. Offensively, I like balance. I would look for balance. Cali Eagles David Super Chat. Watching Hard Knock, Nick's ego pisses me off. Too cocky to learn from 23 and wasted a year of our golden era chance back to back. No, I hear you. I hear you. It is. It's like an arrogance. Like, yeah, we're all right. We're fine. We could just give away the the second seed. They're showing all Nick's. They're in his basement. They're showing all his footballs that he got. Game balls. Will you hire more? No. I was laughing when Mark Holmes called you that day we lost and told him to make a room on the couch for us at Cancun. So Nick is playing with his kids. $500 did not gain the second seed really hurt the team. We probably would have lost this week if we're being honest. But I think it delayed this. I think we beat Green Bay. And here we go. Now they're going to show the game. I know they won't fire the head coach, but I don't think it's going to work until they do. I hear you. Who is Blankenship covering on that trick play? He was supposed to cover. He should have been with McCaffrey, but he let him go. They're showing previews of the Niners Eagles from 2023 when the Niners they showed the championship game. Now they're showing the Niners kicked our ass 42-19. If I remember, I told you I'd be mad at you if we lose. I'm pissed at you. Yeah, I know, Mike. I hope you forgive me. Get over it. The only thing I miss about KP is his red zone plays. His last red zone play sucked. However, my prediction winners: Bills, Broncos, Rams, Bears will be in the Super Bowl. I think the Bears Rams game for sure. Now they're showing the Exciting Whites podcast, and Clint Hurts saying you got to beat the run game. Talking about stopping McCaffrey. I love Clint Hurts. So now Nick's talking. We've had ups and downs this season. This is what Nick is saying. We're coming together as a football team. He's saying San Francisco's 8-1 in explosive plays. San Francisco 8-1 when they win the explosive play battle. He's talking about fundamentals. How does this guy always talk about attention to detail and none of it ever happens? So you could cheer for my Niners to beat the Sea Chickens? I'm not. No. Vaughn said McCaffrey was his on his trick play. But what I don't understand is that may be the case, but why didn't Reed Blankenship react and cover him? Like, you should have seen that Vaughn wasn't. He was wide open. He's got to adjust to that. Yeah, I think we got one in Darius Cooper. I do. Now they're talking to Brandon Graham. The defense was good, man. I can't say in Dick's stupid voice right now. The only thing I want to hear him say is, I waited 5 months too long. Right? They called 8 penalties for like 8 yards and 1 penalty and 9 yards on the road. That's such a crazy stat. Brandon Graham talking about his first sack in the late 90s. That guy. Yeah. Yeah, the Eagles might need a new center. I mean, I don't know what's up with Jurgens. Somebody brought up the idea of drafting a center and moving him to guard. It's not a bad idea. So they're talking about Vaughn and how tough of a job he has dealing with Kittle and McCaffrey. Those were basically Vaughn's responsibilities, what they're saying. What I don't understand is you see things not working with your offense coordinator by midseason. Make a change. Rams fired their special teams coordinator. Why waste the whole season? It's because it's his best friend. You're more concerned about Lane? I think Lane comes back one more year. I don't think he wants to go out the way he did. Yeah. So they're talking about Vaughn's storybook year last year. The NFL fired 4 refs. Is that true? Were they involved in the Eagles game? Nick Sirianni should be fired. Not separate ways, fired. Him and Patullo. Got a coach who is tough and smart and a football wizard. Bring in a real football man and a mind like Harbaugh and Reich. I don't disagree with you. I just think I just don't think they'll fire him. $500. I asked, but you missed it. Offensive coordinator Frank Reich, quarterback coach Nick Foles. What do you think? Check out. I mean, everybody says great things about Nick and about Foles and what he says on his podcast. I've only listened to like one clip, one episode, so I'd have to see more. Frank Reich, offensive coordinator, is who I think the Eagles are going to get. I do. But, I don't really know if I don't know. I mean, what do you guys think of the quarterback coach for the Eagles? I don't think our coach is very good at hiring. He's not. And that's why I don't think he's going to be hiring. But we'll see. I like Sean McVay's tree. Several candidates from the included Atlanta's offensive coordinator got fired. Coach. I do too. I would love somebody innovative like that. Innovative. Rogue, thank you for super chat. Hey, Philly, we need to trade for Crosby. 3, signed Goddard 1 year. Re-signed Goddard to a 1 year and try to get Becton because we need to drive a safety and cornerback. So they're still talking. They're doing a whole segment on Bond's storybook season last year and how he wants to repeat it this year. Yeah, look. Crosby's definitely got to be on the Eagles' radar. I agree. I would like to see Goddard back. And then as far as Becton goes, I think the Eagles are going to draft it. Look, I think at 23, I know they don't usually draft interior linemen, but I would strongly consider it if somebody's out there. And thank you for super chat. 702 says, what up, 500? I'm late. Who would you like to see as the offensive coordinator? If I had my own choice, I would go Mike McDaniel. That would be my first choice. But I think if I had to bet who I think the Eagles hire, I think it would be Reich. Let the young kid Lampkin kindle challenger. I agree with that. So what do you think about the Rams using those 3 tight ends? Well, those tight ends are all good. I like them, like Higbee and stuff. Like those tight ends are good. Yeah, if you have the right guys to do it, it works. I don't think our tight end. I think there was such a drop-off between Goddard and the other 2 tight ends. All right, so now they're showing pregame Barkley saying, what they got to do. Hurts is huddling everybody up. I'm really interested to see what they say after. I think we can go cornerback, free safety in the first round, guard, tackle, center in the second round, and repeat those third. Yeah, I'm open to it. The thing is, really, who you take in the first round really depends on what the board is, So we got to wait and see. For Reich would give Hurts, Reich and Foles will give Hurts a ton of quarterback experience to lean on. That's true. So now they're showing the 49ers trying to get in the face of the Eagles during warm-ups. What I like is at least Epps stood in there. They didn't let him just walk all over him. Could trade for Kyle Pitts. He's a free agent. Yeah, well, he's a free agent. He might be a guy you could pick up. What up, Master Eagle? Trade AJ to Vegas for Crosby and a second. I don't want to get rid of AJ. All right, so they're showing the 49ers having Nick preached the explosive plays. We've got to have more explosive plays than them. And they're showing Robinson on the first drive of the game for the Niners. Big explosive play. Texas Bullock from City. I want to add 2 like that with CJ. Yeah, me too. I have to go check them out. So they're showing the Niners go down, opening drive and score. On Quignon. Jeez. Is it true that McDaniels and Vic has a fractured relationship? Heard some rumors circulate. Nick Wood should not be allowed to hire them. No, I don't believe that. No. From what I understand of that whole thing, that is not true. But some people say it. But when the Miami let him go, it was mutual. And it was because some of the problems with the defensive players. They're showing the handoff to Goddard now for a touchdown. I don't really want too many free agents. Just keep on dressing good young players. No, I hear you. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, he sounds like, I don't know enough about him, but it sounds like an interesting signing. We'll see. Give Sirianni some pom-poms. He's a cheerleader. We need some creativity in his offense, and for anything Nick touches turns to shit. Keep him in a room far away from anything offense does. I agree. I actually agree with you. I got Cilio texting me. Showing the Eagles doing the push-tush. Eagles get Gruden back in the league. He's cakewalk compared to the Michael Vick situation. Well, doesn't he have an active lawsuit going against them? Both time Knicks had power collapse and no answers when things take a turn. Agreed. 100% agree. For most of the year, we were the 1 seed, and we blew it. Now, Jalen Hurts throws a Goddard on 4th and 2. Touchdown. Yeah, I saw, Steel Kid. Yeah, I saw that. Oh, he won the lawsuit? I didn't know. I thought it was still in the, whatchamacallit. I will be there tomorrow, but can you ask Big Sills what happened to his Miami Hurricane Phillips? He was not blocked by... Okay, I'll try. I'll be streaming in the morning before I go on that show, so... Alright, now they're showing Bond. He's mic'd up. They're showing the Eagles shutting down basically McCaffrey on the run game. McCaffrey didn't scare me in the run game. He scared me in the passing game. Now they're talking about getting a turnover. 2019, 23-19. Turnover. Oh, yo. Yeah, that's interesting. That's interesting, Niners GOAT. They're showing the interception by Mitchell. I thought when the Eagles got that turnover with Mitchell, I really thought they were going down the field to score a touchdown. You know? They didn't capitalize on any of them turnovers. Green would be he might. They're showing Barkley get tackled behind the line of scrimmage, behind the line of scrimmage, behind the line of scrimmage. He's got no shot. Nick just rolls his eyes. They just showed 3 runs in a row where they lost a yard, where he had no shot. And they're saying that the Eagles have to go to the air. Hey, he told Kevin Patullo, take some shots. Nick just told him, take some shots, Kevin. Wow, he told him, take a shot. I wouldn't mind seeing two back set or an extra offensive lineman as a tight end sometimes. Oh yeah, I wouldn't either. So he literally told Kevin Patullo, take some shots deep. It's like, does Nick just tell Kevin, hey, I want this kind of play, call it? It's something's not right with those two. All right, now they're about to show the fourth quarter. We got 364 people in here. Thank you guys so much for being here. I truly appreciate it. Now they're showing the McCaffrey play. What the heck did I just type? They're showing the touchdown pass, the flea flicker. Showing 17-16 Niners with 14:52 left. Now they're showing Quinion. They're showing and talking about how Quinion's locking down the field. Purdy throws, picked off again, Mitchell. Philly, would you fire Nick mid-October 26th if he ain't going to want to change his scheme? No, I wouldn't. It wouldn't wait that long. I would do it this all season if he refuses. So now they're showing power running. Only 211 likes. Despicable. Yeah. I think a lot of people are tuned out of this because of the results last week. So I appreciate all you guys for hanging out with me, being with me through this thing. All right, so now they're talking about, they're showing the 3rd and goal where they go up. Purdy looks, throws, touchdown. Rogue, thank you for super chat. Hey Philly, I like the idea. If we're going for Max Crosby, I trade a first-round pick in Nolan Smith to get him. Maybe keep Phillips. Hunt is good. First in him, that's a lot, but how old is Crosby? I don't have no problem going after Crosby. Go after yourself. Thank you for the super chat. How you feeling? Still down? It's good at least KP is gone, however. Is it still Nick's offense? Too much head coaching talent available to a round. I'm all right now. I'm better. I'm just looking forward to the offseason and getting better. But, yeah, I'm really curious to see who they hire and if Nick will have control. So, for real this time, yeah. So now it's showing the Eagles trying to drive down, 3 snaps. They got 5 yards before that final 4th and 11. 4th and 5, rather. I'm sorry. This was when they got, right? They 4th and 5 got her. First down. I love finding these coaches. They need to effing learn this shit. You're right. If we got the 2 seed, who knows what could have won a Super Bowl. Momentum is the way doing things. Team bothers me more. It's Nick doubling down on his bullshit. Just admit you're wrong. I agree 1,000%, Fuji. You never know. You always try to put yourself in the best position. And he didn't. He was arrogant about it. And I didn't like that. So they're about to show the 4th and 11. I don't know, Eddie. It depends how schedule and everything works out. It would be nice. But, I mean, we'll have to see. There you go. Showing the 4th and 11. Hurts throwing the triple coverage. Why do you... So they're showing that the Niners celebrating. He throws in the triple coverage. He might as well have thrown it one-on-one to AJ. I would love to hear explanation of what he was thinking. They're showing the Eagles on the side. Now I'm getting pissed off. They're showing the Eagles disappointed on the sideline. Sirianni told him go win it all. Get the hell out of here with that bullshit. AJ would have dropped maybe, but at least he would have had a chance. I mean, there was no chance on that. Yeah, man's got to come back. Same thing happened to the 49ers last year. We had a bad offensive coordinator, super vanilla. We were 6-11. You guys will turn it around. Now Jordan Davis is speaking, saying he loves everybody. They're all depressed. Not talking to Hurts. So we take care. All right, T. Marsh. I'll be on in the morning. Darius Cooper, is Quez Watkins to me right now? How come? Like, in a good way or a bad way? I mean, he was only a rookie. So now they're not going to talk about firing a coordinator, are they? They're just showing the Eagles highlights. 7 offensive coordinator, it's crazy, Mullen. It's crazy. Jeez. Gruden Fangio 2028. Remember when I blocked your... Oh, you can't block it here, thank God. I don't want anybody blocked. Why did I watch... Dave Sports Quest, what's going on? Because why did I watch it? I know. It kind of pissed me off a little bit. Nick kind of pissed me off in this episode. I don't know if it's just because we lost or it's just like something about him's just getting on my nerves. Yeah, we got to get a good offensive coordinator. The Eagles are breaking their meeting. They all look down. I will say this about the Eagles. There are previous seasons and previous teams that they look like they don't give two shits if they lose. This team looks visibly upset. They look pissed off and upset. I like that. You know, too many... They're talking to Hurts. Hurts and Nick are talking. And Hurts said, we'll be back. I'll say this. At least this team seems like they actually care. Because I'm telling you, there are teams, we look at that Dak Prescott and the Cowboys, they could give two shits when you look at their meetings. They're all smiling and laughing. These guys look visibly upset, you know? I don't like when you watch a team or your team like seems like they care less than the fans do. I hate that. I hate when I watch players act like they don't care. It drives me nuts. So I'll be honest, at least the one good thing I took out of it is they're all upset. Like they all look emotionally pissed and upset. Philly, if you keep AJ Brown happy, they will have to pass 60 to 40% time. I'm okay with 60-40. I'm okay with 60-40. I mean, maybe like 55-45, you know? It's weird, Richie. They didn't even show AJ. They didn't talk about the drop. They didn't show him at all. Very interesting. I really don't know what's going to happen with the AJ situation. Like, I don't know what's going to happen. You know? Still, it's going to be all over this shit. Over this shit. They didn't talk to AJ. Probably. I mean, he's been pushing for it for like 3 years. You know? So, it is what it is. And they should. AJ quit on that wildcard game, but he was proven right with everything he said earlier in the season. Yeah, I hear you. No, they didn't show AJ. No. They didn't show him. They didn't talk to him. Nothing. It's crazy. You can't trade AJ with the dead cap hit unless someone overpays like Lynn's trade. Well, the problem is that any team that would take on that contract is going to probably want to redo it. But on top of that, they're not going to give you the compensation. When teams paying a bunch of money, they're not going to give you great draft compensation. I don't think there's a way. I mean, I think they would have to redo his contract. I don't think they're going to trade him. And I think that's just the way it is. And I think it's important to get AJ back on track with the coordinator. Do I remember? Yeah, unfortunately. Wasn't that the year we had no receivers over like 500 yards or something? AJ isn't getting traded. I mean, I don't know, you know? You bash Hurts, but make excuses for AJ. You're obviously never been on this channel, buddy. You obviously have never been on this channel before. I love when I get people that just come in randomly say stuff that they have no idea what they're saying. Or they do have their idea what they're saying, and they're just saying whatever to try to trigger me. But, I mean, that's such a ridiculous comment. All I do is stick up for Hurts. I do it every day. You all think we're going to be fast to get fast to be our... Wait. Who y'all think we're going to get fast to be our new offensive coordinator? And we have to get an offensive coordinator for at least 3 years, not one. Go Birds. What's up? What's up, Reese? Look, I have some guys I like ahead of Frank Reich. I just have a feeling if I was a betting man, it's going to be Frank Reich. That's what I think is going to happen. You know? So... What is your go-to game day? I don't eat. I don't eat during games. Not during the games. But if I had to say from just like previous years when I would tailgate and we would go to the games, I used to like if we were at the game in Philly, it would be Celebrate's Pizza. That's where I would go. But other than that, I mean, whatever, you know. At home and stuff, we just used to grill. Do it for New Orleans as head coach. If Nick was surprised, he would be Vito. He would be Vito. That's funny. Hurts do get bashed for no reason. Not on here. Not on my channel. Not by me. Anybody that says I'm bashing Hurts is not watching anything I said. You get rid of your of AJ, your receiver room drops after Smitty tremendously. Yeah, it's huge. There's no question about it. People forget how bad those receivers were before him. I would not trade them unless I could replace them. And to me, I don't see the need to trade AJ. And don't forget, Devontae Smith took less to put the Eagles in a position where they could sign both of them long term. I wasn't talking to. Okay, well, my apologies, Michael. I the way it was worded, it sounded like it, but if you weren't, I apologize. Lord Brunson mods ban me for bashing Hurts, but it happens. I'm sure LB doesn't. No, I'm sure he doesn't. Listen, I get people tell me like, why do you ban me? I'm like, I don't ban anybody, and I don't want anybody banned. And if you don't have the same opinion as me on Hurts, I totally respect it. I do. You know, um, I think that one of the things is that it's really hard to evaluate a lot of the players when you have the coaching that you have offensively that you had this year. I mean, how do you like, I don't know, how do you judge Hurts on, like, even on that 4th and 11 when you look at the play that was given to him to go do? I just feel like you need the right coaching, and then let's make an evaluation. Dallas 505, thank you for super chat. He goes, "Hey Philly, how you doing, buddy? I'm doing all right. I'm a little happier today that we're on our way to getting a new coordinator. Do you think Howie and Lurie know Nick is worthless and just don't know how to get rid of him? Truthfully, I think, in not such a mean way, I think they know. I think they know. I have no idea what his politics are, and I could care less. I don't. I only worry about the football field. This one and done loss hurts more than us losing to the Bears. Oh, this is horrible. This loss. And if the Eagles would have played for the second seed, I think they'd probably beat Green Bay, and then they would be hosting Chicago this week. They might lose that game. They might not. They might have, like, was it Fuji Edit said earlier, like, you might have gotten some momentum coming out of that first playoff win, and all of a sudden you start getting it going. So, you know, it's crazy. Exactly. How do you know his ceiling and his limits if he has no guidance or good play? Well, that's exactly my point. And it's been more than just 1 year. I mean, Sirianni, we've been dealing with this issue with Nick for a long time. Let's get Hurts a good coordinator, somebody that can develop the talent that is on the team and use it, and then we'll find out. 4132 David Super Chat. 500 they did show AJ. I think it was telling what they did show of AJ. Nick says, how about shots, Kevin? And they show AJ first. Yeah. Well, I didn't mean that they didn't show, like, him, in a play. I meant that they didn't talk to him. You didn't hear him. He said nothing about, he contributed zero to this episode, which I thought he was going to be featured more, because all week we heard that he was really, like, he had really, like, inserted himself in that locker room to keep everybody loose and stuff. So, yeah, it's crazy. Greg Miller said, did you hear anything about Donovan Ezra get arrested? No, I didn't hear that. Well, actually, somebody mentioned it yesterday, but I didn't see anything other than that, Yeah. Joe, nothing less like seeing the team pumped off packing the bags. We're on the same flight. Jeez. 4 verticals into zone 4 cover it's crazy, man. It's crazy. See, I would love to hear more. They cut out a lot of stuff, but I would love to hear some of the conversations in meetings. I would like to hear what Hurts is saying in the quarterback room. I would like to hear those kind of talks, but we don't hear none of it. Niners, Patriots, and Broncos are joining the 1090 flight to Cancun this weekend. It'll be a nice flight ready for them to flight. Yeah. See, I mean, we'll be streaming each of those games. I still don't know what to make of the AFC, right? I just don't know. I'm kind of rooting for Buffalo to beat Denver. I don't hate Buffalo as much as many other people do. I don't care for the coach, but kind of rooting for them to beat Buffalo. I'm definitely rooting for Houston. If I could choose any team out of the AFC now, I'd probably like to see the Texans. But I don't know. They can't be turning the ball over like the way they did. So I think that's going to be an interesting game with New England because I think that defense is capable of giving New England fits. And then I think in the NFC, I mean, look, did Seattle split with the Niners or did they sweep them? I can't remember. But, it's hard to beat a team 3 times. And we'll see what kind of momentum the Niners take out of it. But I think that's going to be a really close game, a good game, that Seahawks-Niner game. I think the Super Bowl, I think the NFC champions come out of that Bears-Rams game. Hey, Philly, Patullo should practice. Do you like fries with it? Exactly. Yeah, he should. He should. It's weird. My favorite play of the game, besides the Mitchell 2 interceptions, is Purdy avoiding Nolan Smith's sack and stepping up in the pocket and finding Chris McCaffrey in the end zone. Why can't our quarterback do that? When Jalen Hurts is uncomfortable and his bad habits start to surface, he bails to the right. When he's locked in and they got him, he's getting. I think his mechanics are on point. He's getting good coaching. He'll stay in that pocket later, and he'll make those throws. I did think that was a penalty though. I thought Williams got away with that little hook at the end. Bring back Doug Peterson. Strip Sirianni, play calling power, Frank offensive coordinator, and Nick Foles as quarterback. A lot of people are saying Nick Foles is quarterback coach. Did he throw his name in a hat, or just people like what he has to say? That's interesting. Philly, why not bootleg action or Hurts? He's also. I don't know. I don't know why they don't run bootleg. I don't know why they don't run play action. Like, there are times where they show, like, they'll hand it to Barkley, he's running right. Like, if Hurts play action that and rolled out the other way, like, dude, there's nobody around. And 2, you probably get, if you do a crossing pattern, you probably get a big play downfield. They don't use, like, I don't understand it. They, especially early in the season, why didn't you take advantage of Barkley? Like, everybody was so worried about Barkley early in the year. No play action. They run the same downs. I just don't get it. I mean, they ran a screen pass to Barkley that went. It was a big game in this game, but like, how many times have we been calling to run a screen pass to the running back and not the tight end? Dallas 505, David Super Chat. I'd want to see the Texans versus Chicago personally. That'd be an interesting matchup. I can tell you though, if Stroud turns the ball over the way he did last week, they will not beat New England. Philly, did you hear the kid who said Patullo is like cooking hamburger? One side he's cooking, the other. No. Who said that? That's pretty good. Yeah, just go on the Eagles website and they should do it. It's going to be interesting. We're getting interesting games this week. Yeah, but when's the last time Niners won? No, they haven't won in a long time. New England looks like frauds to you? I thought that defense was pretty good, you know. I mean, how about Herbert? Herbert kind of stunk. He kind of Dak-itis there. You up for surfing this weekend? Hurts Southern Cancun. So, yeah, cowabunga, dude. I'm going out surfing with me and Trevor Lawrence, dude. We're going to have a fantastic, gnarly time. And then we're going to have burritos and some pizza. We all on the couch watching the Bears play was crazy, right? It's really crazy. Yeah, Philly 500. If it's not the Bears, Texans, or Broncos in the Super Bowl, I'm probably not watching. See, I wouldn't mind. I'll be honest. I would not mind seeing Josh Allen get a Super Bowl. Like I would be okay with that. I would be okay with that. But I don't know I have no clue what to expect out of the AFC. I don't. I think the NFC. I think that Rams Bears game is really interesting. It's going to be interesting. We'll be streaming. I'll be streaming every one of those games. So it's going to be a busy week for me. No doubt about it. Tomorrow my plan is, I don't know if I'm going to do a video. If there's something to talk about, I might do a video on the, the top prospect or the top candidates for offensive coordinator. But I will be live streaming in the morning. So, early afternoon Eastern time. So look for that. We'll be doing our normal stream. So, but with that, I want to thank everybody for joining me tonight for this. I know this was a hard one to watch, and I didn't get to see what I was hoping. I was hoping they were going to show like a discussion between like Nick and Howie and talking about what to do at offensive coordinator, but we got none of that. So I think that kind of sucks. And I really think Nick kind of I don't know, just arrogance like this leading up in the playoffs. I just feel like there's a lot of arrogance by the Eagles going into, the playoffs where they didn't think they needed to be this 2 seed. They didn't feel like they needed to play for it. And then just listening to him early in the week before the game kind of drives me opinion. So who is the number one option? Well, I think the most likely candidate to get it is going to be Frank Reich. But I don't know that that's the best candidate. I think that's the one the Eagles want. I would like Mike McDaniel. The Kubiak name is out there now. That's an interesting name to me. But we got to obviously wait for him, because he's with the Niners. But should be interesting. But I'm going to let everybody go. If you guys haven't, I did a whole video on the Patullo firing, but I want to thank everybody so much for joining me. This was an interesting 6 episodes. So we did this for 6 weeks, but I think this is the final one and should be interesting. I am going to get going. I want to go spend some time with the family and eat a little dinner and all that kind of stuff. So I know it's very easy to blame Nick, but at the end of the day, he's unbelievable track record. You can't get lucky that much. Playoffs every year, Super Bowl win back, even when we had no weapons. Well, here's what I'll say. I don't think like they were going to fire Nick. He's got too many wins. But, one of the weaknesses that has been consistently with Nick for 5 years, I think has came up again. And it's like the third time it kind of has hijacked our season, and that is running his kind of offense. So if he sticks to being a head coach and doing with those responsibilities, I think he'll be fine. But we need a fresh take at offense, So that's my opinion. Thanks, really appreciate it. Good streamers, always have a good night. You too, my man. Always love. Be good 500. You too, Daiquiri. Thank you so much. Kevin just got fired from the local McDonald's. The most interesting thing is that they fired him, but he still may be on the team. He still may be on the coaching staff. What does that tell you? That's the question. What is going on with the Eagles that they would do that? Is that Frank Reich wants that because he wants to come in? Is that Nick's is that him saving face before he loses complete control of the offense? I don't know. I don't know how many times we can think of a offensive coordinator getting fired and then staying with the team. Kind of crazy. All right, Rocco, my man. So we will see. Breaking news, Patullo gives on a burger and it was half done. Yeah, would you like fries with that? It's crazy, right? Waterboy is his only spot. Yeah, it's going to be interesting. But all right, guys, I'm going to get out of here. Love to everybody. Peace. God bless. And then, yeah, I will see you guys tomorrow. With that said, we out. Peace.
2 minutes to go. You have plenty of time.
Come on.
Oh, shit! Dad! No!
It's over! It's over! This game is over! Cut it off, it's over!
Fuck.
Congratulations, Green Bay! Congratulations, Green Bay! Congratulations, Green Bay!
I said run the ball.
Congratulations, Green Bay! Dak Prescott, you need to be fired today! That was on you, Dak! That was on you, Dak! That was on you, Dak!
I said run the ball.
That was on Dak Prescott! Trying to feed the Lamb! You tried to feed the CD Lamb! You got to give it to CD Lamb! God! It's over! It's over, Dak! Put Trey Lance in the game. Trey Lance can't do worse than you.
I'm an idiot because I buy into this shit. I buy into this shit. Because here's the thing. I am a grown-ass man. And I talk the talk. It is killing me.
I feel it coming. I feel like it's going to take Jerry Jones taking. Cut it off. It's over.